G'day guys, welcome back to Supercoach Swordplay. Hope you are having a cracking week so far. We have one more buy round to go, and I think it's time that I complete my side and get in a 23rd premium. You know, we've been using that term very, very loosely around here lately, but I've been going up, down, all around with my trade plans. I think I've finally landed on something, but I just still don't want to commit. So I'll talk you through it. I'd appreciate your feedback in the comment section. Let me know what you think, because there are certainly a few options available to me. Now, usually I'd have this video out on the Sunday night or the Monday night, but I've just been prioritizing a few more videos. I obviously had the big Sunday live, and just very quickly on that, I have had a few questions about the video. Where has it gone? I haven't seen it yet. There was obviously a fair bit of drama on Twitter on the weekend, on Saturday night, and it did flow through to Sunday night when I did record the live. Now, I just want to put this to bed now. Cal is still copying a little bit of flack, and literally about 2 minutes after the live ended, I did get a DM from Cal, and he did apologize, which I really did respect. And he asked me very kindly and very politely if I could please take down the video. And I decided to do that and not continue with the beef. He did the right thing and apologized to me. And I said that maybe I went a little bit hard on my live as well. I could have held back slightly, but I think we're both at a good understand with each other now. We've done the old virtual shake hands. And so, yeah, really just want to put it to bed now, put it to rest. So thank you to everyone that did really back me up and support me there. I really do appreciate it, guys. I was even listening in to the Fans podcast, and they put the fantasy boys in the pan as well, all in good spirit, as we know. But yeah, thanks, boys, for the support. And yeah, we both have really, really great communities. We have a fantastic Supercoach community. There's a wonderful fantasy community over there. There's a little bit of argy-bargy at times between both formats, but at the end of the day, they're both games that we both enjoy playing. And I think it's good to put this to rest now and no more dramas. So thanks again to everyone for your support there. But Cal and I, all good now. Let's get to this Supercoach. Now, for the round review, I'm going to really quickly go through that. It's mainly about the trades for me, but a 2058, more red arrows, over 523 spots. Well, right on 523 spots in the red this week. And I just continue to go down, down, down. 3,885, and somehow I'm still just ranked in the top 2%. I must be like the last couple of people in there. So fighting from a spot there, the top 1%, I think might be a little bit of a pipe dream now. I just don't have enough trades in the bank like I did last year to make a bit of a late charge. But who knows? Luck could be on my side, and we might manage to do something decent before the end of the year. So let's get into this, guys. We'll see how the team's looking, and then check out every potential trade I can make. Alrighty, so trades from last week. I finally said goodbye to Clay Hall. Now, he did finally get a game after smashing it in the reserves, but it was only a sub game, and I just can't trust his job security or mini going forward. And in saying that, I bring in another West Coast rookie, but this is Tom McCarthy, defensive mid, 99k up, mid-season pick. He played a phenomenal debut game. Obviously had the bye last week, but the whole idea behind getting him in last week was to add an extra 100k to the bank to make my final moves this week. So I'm still happy with that. The other move I made was a bit of a sideways trade, but I did have some excess defenders. So you can see I've still got Jack Sinclair sitting in my midfield. And I also had Matty Roberts, who's now not in the side, but in his place, I needed to get a forward, and that man was Sam Darcy. I was just super confident that he'd deliver a really nice score for us, even though we had a really high break even, and that was the case. So stoked to bring in Darcy. And although it was a bit of a sideways move, I was desperate, as I said, to bring in another forward. So they were the trades from last week. Now, if you look at this team as a whole, we've got a defensive line, and keeping in mind that Sinclair is in the midfield, Dale, Wanganeen, Millera, Sheasel, Zorko, Whitfield, and the Butcher McKercher with Gray and McCarthy on the bench. So all in all, I think that's okay. I'd love to have someone else in place for McKercher, but let's just say if you put Sinclair there, it'd look a lot better. So I'm okay with that. Max Holmes is a huge omission here, probably followed by Lockie Ash. I'd love to have a Jordan Clark as well. Someone I've been so keen on all year, but just, yeah, haven't had the chance to bring him in. Or I've had the chance, but I've decided to bring different players in. You look to the midfield, so you've got your Brayshaw, Bont, as the two big dogs there, I suppose, in regards to price. Then you've got your Dawson, Sinclair, as I mentioned, as defender, and Dacos. And then you go down to your Shearer, your Neal, and your Dunkley. So overall, it's not a fantastic midfield. I've got some DPP there, which is handy. Dacos is really hitting back, so I do still count him as a big dog. Dawson, I'm a big fan of, particularly with that Supercoach finals fixture that he's got. Jerry's just been ultra consistent. Neal is the one that really worries me, and Dunkley is still an okay pick in my eyes anyway, because you just know that he's not going to cop the attention. And that game the other week where he did spend a bit of time forward versus GWS, I think that was sort of due to necessity, obviously with Jack Payne going down. So as a whole, I'm not wrapped with the midfield unit. I'd love to have another one or two big guns in there. You know, Andersons, your Tom Greens, your Zach Butters. That'd be really handy, but it is what it is for now. I've got the two big boys in the ruck, so super happy that I ended up locking Max Gawn in. Remember, this was all for basically a 1 week play. And if I hadn't have gone your Bonds, if I hadn't have really paid up for your Gawn as well, then this team would look a little bit different, but I'm still really happy that I've got them. So no complaints there. Now, the forward line, this really lets me down. You don't see Dogger. You don't see Nick Martin. You don't see Track. You don't see the Horny Man. It is not looking too good. But in saying that, all the blokes that I've got here on their good day can deliver a really nice score. So Baz, you've all got. Caleb Daniels, one of those blokes that I held, and I'm glad that I did, because I'd be in a pretty vulnerable spot, I think, at the moment with my trades. Darcy's won the board in last week and wrapped with, and just stoked to have him in the side. Warner, he hasn't had the most fantastic role, has he? A 93 I'll actually take from Warner. That's how bad he's going at the moment. Bolton, terrible, terrible pick. But I knew what I was getting myself into. Hopefully we'll see a nice ceiling game soon from him. And Rankin has been rank, hasn't he? Many people actually sideways him out last week, but I'm keeping the faith. Same fixture, obviously, as Dawson. So I'm hoping he just finds his skills again. They've just left him. They've ghosted him, but he's a much better player than what he showed lately. So I'm hoping he gets back into the swing of things. And then the spot I need to upgrade is obviously this flex position here. So what I'm going to do first is the original move that I was planning on making this week. So if you look at my cover, I've got obviously McCarthy down back. So that's fine. You could even loop your McCarthy and your McKercher there if you want. I've got Johnson, who's playing at the moment. You can't rely on these two. Gray's obviously out. You can't rely on Boyd. The Peds, does he play? Hopefully. Even maybe he's a sub and they've got a half-decent draw. Simpson's dead. And then Clark, well, it's hard to know with these Essendon rookies, isn't it? So my original plans were to actually hold on to Clark, get Gray up there, say goodbye to Zachy Johnson, and actually bring a loophole in. And there is method to the madness. It's Harry Charleston from Carlton as that defensive mid, because you can see all of a sudden now that McCarthy actually covers not only the defensive line, but also the midfield here. And if need be, I've got Clark there who can come on as well. So that's the reason for getting Charleston back. The next move I was going to make up forward was to get Pedler out and bring Sam Butler in from Hawthorn. So you are paying up a little bit more. I have gone that loophole option, and then I've actually gone the playing option here in Sam Butler. 126k, but for a warm body, if desperately needed, I think that's okay. If you don't need the points, if you don't need the cash, then just go with the DPP 99k, in my opinion anyway. But I'm going to go with Butler in this scenario if I go through with it. And then this gives me 492k. And then if we just go to, let's filter, I want to forward in at this stage. Let's go players I can afford by average. You've got Darcy, I've got Rankin, I've got, and then you've got these two picks here. So these are really the two players I'm realistically looking at, or else potentially another key forward, which I can't believe that I'd even consider. But the original plan was always a Horny Man. So if I do go through with that, I've got 20k left in the bank. And by getting Horn Francis in here, I've got cover in the midfield if needed through Day Wicks. And every one of the forwards here apart from my man Sam Darcy, have some DPP as well. So we can certainly cover in forward and we can do some stuff there. So that was the original plan. And that's what I still might end up doing. Because with Horn Francis there, I've managed to keep on to all of my other premiums and 3 rookies out the door, not really important rookies. I'm bringing probably an upgrade here, a really important player structurally for my side, and then the best forward option that I can afford. So that is the option there. And again, that's what the team would look like. You're just adding Horn Francis basically instead of Clark, putting Clark back and adding Horn Francis there. So that was the original move, but I'm thinking, do I just get rid of Chocky? Do I sideways Chocky and actually abort JHF mission? Now, I'm getting cold feet on him because that shoulder just does not look good. The CBA time does not look flash for him. So I'm really starting to get concerned and I'm getting cold feet. So what I'm thinking is it worth getting, say, a Callum Mills in instead of a Horn Francis? And then going with an upgrade to your Chocky Neal, who's been such a frustrating pick for me and a pick I legitimately have been looking to get rid of for the last 2 weeks. So this is something that I am contemplating. We'll play around a little bit. So if I was to go with these 3 players here and go for a midfielder, I would, again, I should just left it actually, go with Charleston, I think. Did I just pick Kerno? Oh, no, please. Sorry, internet just had a massive hissy fit. It's just reset me here, so I'll get myself back together. Apologies for that. So that was the first scenario. What else could I look to do? So something else that I could look to do would involve, again, most likely getting Charleston in. I just want McCarthy to be able to cover in my midfield, if possible. So that's still going to happen. And you've got 242,000. I would then, in my flex position here, get Callum Mills into the side. And I'd put him down back and then probably have someone like McKercher there who's got that DPP. And that gives me 20,000. Now, sideways. The issue here is players that I can afford. So, got the buy. Rosie, he's that defensive option, but he's just come into the midfield with that high CBA rate. So I really don't know about him. Then we're going to like your Tom Atkins, Took, and then into your forwards, your Kennedys, your Tracks, your LDUs. You're just really not looking at quality here. You're just that little bit under for quality. So that means that Gray's going to go out. And let's just say if we trade Clark, we'll swap Gray. Oh, so I need a midfielder. Sorry. So this is where we're looking here. Do we have, players I can afford? So all of a sudden we get some better options here for me. And this is by trading out Clark instead of Gray. So now we're looking at Georgie Boy Hewitt. Now we're looking at Tom Limbatore. And now we're looking at Caleb Sarong. I'm pretty sure that the other options were still available to me. Yeah, so you've got Isaac Heaney. Oh, sorry, I'll go by average. You've got Isaac Heaney, who I can also afford there. But that's probably where I'd go to. Real. Yeah, so it's really out of these 3 for me. So Caleb Sarong, I've looked deep into his numbers, and I'm going to do a mini stock market video, and I'm going to go deep into numbers of all 3 players. I've compared their scoring from 100 to 110 of all the different ranges. I've done a fair bit of research into it, and I've now knocked out Caleb Sarong. So it's not going to be Caleb Sarong. And part of the issue with Sarong, as compared to someone like a Libba and particularly a George Hewitt, is that he is a tag target. the other two blokes aren't. And I think the next 2 weeks, it could actually be Caleb Sarong, and I'm hoping that it is being a Brayshaw owner that cops a tag. So that does put me off, which then leads me, and he's the highest price player here at the moment as well. So that's another thing that puts him towards that bottom of the list. Janath and Rossco and Spillsy all have him number 1 out of these 3. You wouldn't know that. You'd know that, sorry, if you listen to the Swordplay potty this week. But I'm trying to follow my gut more here. And I'm probably wrong. Should just listen to the boys, but I'm chucking him at 3. So then instead of Libba and Georgie Boy Hewitt, if you look at the tag target, I don't think it's going to be any of these blokes, but probably Libba over someone like a George Hewitt. You've got Bond, you've obviously got Richards, but they could go for someone like a Libba. I think the good thing for Libba is the fact that Treloar is now out of the side. So if you look at his CBA rate, it's funny. So when Bonk comes into the side, it sort of lowers a little bit. And then Treloar comes in, bang, it goes right down again. So, yeah, that's good news for Libba with Treloar out. And they're very similar when it comes to many things. If you look at the average there, 114, if you round it to 115, there's 1 point for the average there. It's just Georgie Boy Hewitt. He's just super consistent. And when you look at the ownership here, 9% compared to 15%, and that's probably different around that top 1 to 5% range. But overall, George is still the pod. So, look so far into it, and I'm still on the fence. It's going to be Hewitt or it's going to be Libba. I think for now, I'm going to go Hewitt. And Libba is more of that fun type pick, the player I enjoy watching more. But I've already got a few dogs. I've already got your Bond, your Darcy, and your Dale. Whereas I've got Chera, no one else from Carlton. So why not maybe give him a pairing and maybe not go too overboard with the dogs, although they are my favourite team to watch. And I'm a big fan of many of their players. So if I decide to do that and not go the Horn Francis way, then this is how the team will look. So I need to bring Mills up, obviously, to that flex spot. So let's just bring, say, Sheasel up to the flex spot just to give us some DPP there. Get Gray back. Ripper. Yep. Now, this isn't for this week, obviously, and we'll take a look at the buys in a sec, but this is going to be how the completed side looks. So we'll now have Mills and McCarthy sort of rotating there between that D6, D7 position. And you've also got Gray there, who you can use as a loop. So we've got Gray, who'll be a nice loop actually for us this week if we didn't have the buys. I don't know future fixtures there and all the rest, but yeah, we'll see what happens there. So all good. I think I'm not expecting 120 pluses from Mills every week, but I think he's shown that he's got a pretty decent role there. Got runs on the board. Durability isn't fantastic, but knowing that I've got McCarthy here as a backup, I think is all good. And then you look here, you've got Charleston, so McCarthy can easily cover here. Day Wicks is purely there for some DPP if really desperate. I've still got Luke Pedlar there just for now. His break even isn't fantastic, but I suppose the thing with Pedlar is that he's playing. Well, you'd hope that he'd be playing. So has he got the injury there? Why is he an injury? Well, I don't even know about this. So maybe he's not. Maybe I do look to get rid of a Pedlar. Could I still do that? Yeah, the issue is by not getting Butler in, I'm a little bit concerned just in case there's a bit of carnage in the forward line here. I can't really cover. Sheasel can cover your defenders and he can cover your midfield if needed, but he can't really do much for the forward line. And that was a big reason why I was originally looking at Horn Francis. So do I just go back there? Maybe. I'm not too sure. The main thing for me, well, what I need to decide is do I go Horn Francis here and then keep on to Neil, not worry about Mills, get Butler into the side, or do I just go with either Georgie Boy Hewitt or Libba? That's what I've got to decide. And last thing we'll probably finish with now. Oh, no, sorry. We'll look at how we're looking this week and then we'll get into the captain. So we've got McCarthy that can cover Zorko. Whitfield's out. So one down there. Charleston won't be covering, so we're 1 down with Dunkley. Look, I highly doubt it, but we'll see. We'll chuck the box there. So we'll count 1 down there. We've got the 2 big boys in the ruck playing, which is good. We'll see if Pedler plays. I'm not too sure, but if he does, then he'll cover Baz. And then we've got Sheasel here. So let's just say Pedler plays. I'll give myself that grace. Nothing missing here. Nothing missing here. I won't say that Boxall's going to play. So that's 1 down. And McCarthy will fill in there. 1 down here. So let's just say 2 down. And in a best case scenario, if Boxall comes in, I'll be one down. So that'll be, 22 players. So I'll have the luxury of dropping 4 scores. But let's be honest, if a Boxall comes in, if a Pedler comes in, you're not counting on much anyway, probably a 25 to 40 if you're lucky. So that's how we're going to be looking for this week. Now, in regards to captains, it's going to be pretty easy-ish for me. You've got the Saturday and the Sunday games here, Collingwood, West Coast, and then Richmond and Adelaide. So I think for me, it's going to be Dacos into Jordan Dawson and captain, just to put off anyone that doesn't watch these videos. I might be playing in the league. I'll just chuck on Zorko just to keep them guessing. Look, I could go the Bont, against Sydney. I don't think that Jordan will do too much damage to him. Does he go to Richards? Does he go to Dale? I'm really not too sure. But you could go your Bont. Georgie Boy Hewitt against Port. Look, he's had that one really big ceiling game, a few other nice games, but probably not when you got the other options. I just don't think it's worth it. Probably the one that makes me nervous not going is Tristan Sherry, just knowing how easy it is for him to pop out of 150. So that's probably the other one or the other choice that I would consider there. Freo against St Kilda. Well, if you told me that Windy would not touch Brayshaw, I'd go Brayshaw in a heartbeat as well as potentially a backup captain. But I'm a little bit nervous there with that one. So I think for now, it's going to be Dacos into Giordano Dawson, and Zorko can just wear the captain's armband for now. And I'm hoping they can just stay with Zorko. What's the threshold? Well, I said a 124 plus. If it's a 123 from Dacos, I'm not taking it. I'm rolling the dice with Jordan Dawson. If it's 124, I'm going to take it. That's how, right down to the final detail that I'm going to be this week with the captaincy. So hope you enjoyed, guys. Thank you very much for watching. This was, again, a very, very late one, but I think these are trades I'm going to go through with. But if you have any other suggestions, I'm willing to absolutely listen and take on as much feedback as possible, because this has been a bloody tough year, and I'm already starting to plan for 2026, to be quite honest. But that is it for now, guys. Much love. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.